It's very perfect that we're recording this episode today because I feel like shit hockey.
You do?
Oh no. Day 2. The first day is like not usually that bad, but day 2, man. I was
like
out
first
day 2,
real
3, and
day.
4. Like I couldn't even move. I just was popping like ibuprofen every like 4 hours or whatever the time period is. Because I've been getting it every fucking 21 days.
I think I do too, and that's why me and Maggie get off.
Isn't that normal?
No.
I feel like
it's
mine
28
comes
days.
so fucking quickly.
But well, I guess it would be 28. Like birth control is 21 days, and then you start it. Like you stop taking it for that week. So yeah, I guess it's 28 days. But like,
yeah, mine's like a week shorter. So I have it like more frequently, and it's the fucking worst.
Do you guys
That is
use any
horrible.
tracking apps?
I started using the Apple.
Apple
The
has
Apple
one.
Health one has one. Yeah.
Oh.
And I've just been using that one. It's really nice.
I didn't know Apple
Because I
has
track my
one.
steps in it. Yeah. And I guess like I don't know if you guys have been seeing the ads for what has the ad been on? Hulu or no, it's like YouTube TV. But I guess like other tracking apps like have your data and can like share it, but Apple doesn't share your like health data with people. That's at least what the ad is about.
Wait, is it
It's a smart
free?
ad to make.
Yeah.
Because I pay for mine. But also, okay, so I just opened my period tracker app, and
Wait, what are you?
my period was I went 16 days. And then had another period.
And then you got another one. That is
that's
just
why
that
we
I've done.
keep
I've definitely
getting
had
off.
that before.
Do I have PCOS or
it-
something?
I don't know.
I
don't know
never
if that's a
thought
sign
that I
of-
did because I don't really have irregular periods. Like I have a period every single month. But like what the fuck? That's like 2 weeks and then I got another period.
I know. I've definitely had it like 16 days before too. I don't understand it at all. But I do not want to go back on birth control. So that is.
Wait, the month before that it was 16 days apart too.
Oh my God. That's probably why you've been feeling like shit, Dev.
Yeah, no wonder. Because I'm like literally PMSing every other week. Feels like.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh my God.
That makes sense because I didn't understand why we were not synced up anymore.
Yeah.
That's
That's
wild.
not good.
Has
Oh
that
my
been
God.
has that been consistent for like the last like 4 months? This is one of the topics I did want to talk about today is like the fact that I don't really track. I'm starting to track because I'm like really frustrated by it. But I'm like every time it comes, I'm like, oh, that's why I was sobbing like yesterday.
Yeah.
Or like that's why I'm like breaking out around my mouth or like whatever. And I'm like, why don't I just take 2 seconds to track when I have my period so I understand like when these things might happen again and why they're happening.
It looks like it used to be more like every 20, 21 days, and now it's like becoming
To
shorter.
14. That's insane.
What the heck? All right, well, welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
And today we're talking all about periods. As you
I've
can
been wanting to
tell.
talk about periods for so long. So I'm
Because
excited
you're always
about
on
this
your
episode.
period,
For real,
apparently.
that's why. And every time I get my period, I'm like, oh, I want to do the period episode, which is like every other week.
That's so funny. I feel like mine's
Dude, that's
often,
insane.
but it's normal, I guess. So that's crazy that
Yeah.
yours is.
No wonder
That's a
every
lot.
time I'm like, oh, I'm starting my period, my mom's like, weren't you just on your period? And I'm like, no, it's been a month. But like, no, literally, it's been 3
No,
weeks.
it's-
Whoa, what the heck? That's what Cameron says every time. He's like, again? Like, it's been
Yeah,
a month.
welcome to my fucking life. Ugh,
We're
God,
like, yep, it is
sucks.
another month, actually.
Yeah, how do you think I feel?
Yeah. That's what I say too. I'm like, excuse me, you're not having like your uterus punched every 2 seconds.
No, I always joke that he gets like his man period at the same time that I get my period. And I don't know if it's just realistically I just get more annoyed because of my hormones. But I'm like, why are you acting so bad the week that I'm on my period? Like, you got to step your game up this week.
That's
That's
actually an
really
interesting
funny.
observation. If it's like him or if it's just you.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I wonder if
Probably
he
just
like
me.
is able to sense your emotions and stuff and like can kind of feel what you're
Yeah. You
like
guys
that
are
you're
just
off,
synced
and
up.
so he's like, yeah,
Probably.
your man period.
That's a good experiment.
It's-
I wonder, like, if you didn't tell them and stuff, like, if they could actually know or guess.
You should do that. Be like, try to guess when I'm on my period next. But he'll probably piss you off and like be like, are you on your period when you're in a bad mood?
Annoyed.
Yeah.
Joe's very gentle about it. He's like, are you like on your period? If I'm
It's
like really
"Are you
emotional.
menstruating?"
No, he doesn't say that, which I'm
And then you want to be like, no.
I know it's not.
But then
Yeah,
you're
I'm
like,
like,
oh fuck,
no,
actually,
but
yeah,
like,
I'm about
yes,
to start.
and thank you for making it make sense to me why I'm like so emotionally distraught right now for no reason.
It's actually so annoying because like growing up, everybody would be like, oh, are you on your period? Like once you were a teenager,
Ugh, I know.
that was always the, when you were in a bad mood and you wanted to be like, no, like what, that doesn't have anything to do with it. But as you grow up and you realize like it literally, why does this have so much to do with it?
Yeah.
I know. Wait, so what was your guys' first period?
Mine was at a pool and I was
Oh my
babysitting.
God,
I was like
that's-
nannying kids.
That's the nightmare
And-
situation.
How old were you?
Luckily, I was in 5th grade. It was a summer after 5th grade.
God,
And
I
had
don't
no
think
idea,
I even
what was
had
happening. I just didn't even like realize what was going on. And
Yeah.
then finally I got home and I was like, oh. And
Wait,
figured
did
it
you
out,
know about
but-
it like beforehand, or were you just like, why is there blood happening?
I mean, I knew that like girls obviously get periods. I just like didn't expect it to happen to me at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's
like I
early
wasn't like
also.
ready for it.
I remember in
Um,
5th grade, they like took the girls and boys and separated us. And like the
Yeah.
girls all went and learned about periods and
I
like
did that
pads
too.
and stuff. And I was so scared to get my period.
I was
Yeah.
absolutely terrified. Like, I was like, if this happens anywhere besides my home, like, I will be passing away.
Luckily, I think I was just too like confused and I was like focused on 2 little boys. I think they were like 2 or 3 at the time. And I was like, I was able to not think about it. But I didn't understand like why I was like cramping and feeling so shitty and feeling really
Yeah,
tired.
you think
I
that you
remember
have,
feeling
like, to go poop.
Yeah,
Like
it
cramps
was
at
just,
first
a
feels
weird-
like I have a stomach ache.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't understand like any of the symptoms that went along with it.
Wait, did
And
you
I
like
didn't
bleed
feel like
in
I
the
could talk to my
pool?
parent.
Or like, did it?
I mean, probably, but like it was like so light that I didn't
Yeah.
like even really notice. You know what I mean?
So then, did you tell your mom, or you felt like too uncomfortable to talk to them?
No, I didn't. I just felt really uncomfortable.
Oh my god!
For some reason, I thought getting a period was the most embarrassing thing ever. And I was so
Yeah,
afraid to have to
same.
tell my mom one day.
Same.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
And then
why
when that
either.
happens in 5th grade, that's like,
Yeah.
Good thing you had the class right before.
Yeah. And then I think there's another one in 6th grade that we went through too. At least at this school that I was at.
Mine was
So-
5th grade was more like puberty focused, and then 6th grade was like more sex focused. I
Yeah.
don't remember if it was 6th or 7th grade.
Maybe it was 7th grade. I can't really remember now.
Dev,
But-
what is yours?
Either way.
I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember if I got my period in 7th or 8th grade. I think it would make more sense that I got it in 8th grade because that was after I quit gymnastics, and like being a gymnast
Oh.
and so skinny and
Yeah.
stuff, I like couldn't get my period.
Mm-mm.
So I feel like it was 8th grade. But like mine was just like spotting. Like it was like brown discharge, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Is this my period? Like I kind of
Yeah, I don't
assumed that
remember
it was
what
my
it,
period,
like,
but it
looked
wasn't
like.
blood. So it's like kind of
Yeah.
confusing. But I think by that age I wasn't embarrassed as much because all my friends had it already. But like when I learned about it in 5th grade, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Luckily, there was a bunch of girls in 6th grade that were like comfortable talking about it, and then that made me more comfortable talking about it with them.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
I felt like supported in that way.
Yeah, then there was like a change where it became like, then those girls were cooler. Like, then you have out your tampons or your pads, and then
Yeah.
it's like those girls became more cool. And then I didn't start till 8th grade, so I was like one of the
Oh, you started
last
in 8th
one.
grade too?
Yeah.
It
It was either 8th grade or like during the summer at some point. I don't know. I was at home, thankfully.
What did
That
you
is
do?
Well, I was also terrified like you. Like since 5th grade, I was like, how is this gonna happen? I don't want to tell anyone about it. Like I'm not okay with this. And my sister and my mom are both like very open, so there was no reason for me to be like scared to talk to them about it whatsoever. But then one of my best friends, she started hers pretty early, and she started it while we were like we were like babysitting her. I guess she was staying with us while her parents were on vacation. And she got her period at our house, and she like didn't say anything for like it was like several days because she was just so scared and didn't like think to say anything. It was so sad. So then after that happened, I was like, okay, I gotta tell, because my mom was like, you can't do that, like it's okay, like you need to tell us when it actually happens. So then I was like more comfortable. But I don't really like fully remember. I just remember I was like at home, and then like my mom and sister were like, yay.
That's
yeah,
so
like,
funny.
oh, you're
I
a
think it's
woman.
so
My
helpful
mom
to be
did
the-
that. You're a woman now. Congrats. It's like,
Yeah.
what
You
the
know
fuck?
what?
I'm 12.
That's
like,
that's the line I
I
did
don't want to
not
be a
want to
woman.
hear.
I know.
I did
Especially
not
when you're
wanna
in
hear
5th
that at
grade.
all.
Like, I'm 10 years old. No thanks.
No,
Yeah.
I
I'm
want
a
to be a
child.
kid. I'm going to go get my Barbies now. Like,
yeah, and then you're like, now I have to deal with
And
this
bleed
for
in
the
my
rest of my
pants.
life.
yeah, that's also really overwhelming. Like, the rest of my life, I'm going to have to do this every single month.
I guess it's not the rest of your whole life, but it feels
But
that
then,
way.
like, it's also, obviously, we have never experienced this, but, like, going through menopause is a whole nother, like, scary,
that sounds
horrible experience. So once you guys got your period, what did you guys start using pads or tampons, or what'd you do?
I think
Did
I
anyone
used
go straight for the
pads
tampon?
first. I think my
No,
mom
I
did
definitely
teach
just use
me
pads.
a tampon like semi at first, because one of her stories, she like put because it was like cardboard applicators, you know, like it was wrapped around it, and she put like the whole cardboard up there, and then mom was like, no, that's not how you do it. But I think like within 8th grade I was using tampons, but I've always had like a very light period. I think like I don't fully remember.
Me too.
That's very nice.
I've always had cramps though, like pretty bad.
Yeah. I hated pads because I just felt like really uncomfortable.
Like a diaper.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
And-
my school uniform was khakis in 8th grade. So, like, it was a
Oh my
terrifying thing.
God.
All of us were always so scared. Like, and there would definitely, it would happen where girls would get blood, like, on their khakis. And we'd be like, you have to go run up and tell the girl.
I
Yeah.
asked our
I remember that a
listeners
lot,
to
too.
submit some crazy period stories, and there's a story about khakis in there. So,
Oh, khakis are scary.
That is, and anytime there was like white too.
Yeah.
It was always like a
Yeah.
question.
Don't wear white on your
It was
period
kinda-
unless you're really brave.
Yeah. But it was always like very comforting to be like, hey, can you just like check behind me? Like,
Oh my God, yeah. When you'd walk in front of them, too. You're just like,
discreetly, like, what are you doing?
I
that
honestly,
was such a thing. I forgot.
I was so afraid to use tampons, but I remember I had to start using them because I was at the water park and I started my period. And I had just gotten there and I was like so upset. And I was probably like the summer of 8th grade or something. So my mom picked me up and took me back home, and it was like, you're going to have to put in a tampon if you want to go back to the water park. And I was like so scared. Like I didn't, when you're like, how do you even know where your vagina even is? Like,
You don't.
I don't even know how I did it
You don't
correctly.
even know.
But like,
Yeah.
I went in my bathroom and my mom was sitting outside the door with the door shut, and I put like vitamin E on the applicator, like as lube, like, to make it go.
Did she
in
tell
easy.
you to do that? Or
Yeah,
you just
she told
did
me to
that?
do that.
Oh, I
No,
was like, you
she-
just pulled that out at yourself.
And I was just like in the bathroom crying, and my mom was like probably frustrated with me and yelling at me, kind of like trying not to yell at me, but like annoyed at me, like, if you want to go, then you have to put it in. And so like I ended up putting it in, but like for the longest time, I don't think I ever put them in correctly because I didn't like push
I
them all the way
agree.
up. Like I would just stick it in as much as I like for
Like
a
very
little bit and then
shallow.
pull the applicator out. Yeah. And then I would feel it like the whole time because I didn't stick it in far enough. And so I went to the water park and I was just like so uncomfortable. I could just like feel it hanging out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's really uncomfortable.
a horrible
I think that I had to
experience.
start too with like sports.
Yeah. Totally. She can't be wearing a
Because it was just
big old
too-
pad.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I just remembered that my school had this thing, like in that class in 5th grade when they went over periods and everything. We
Mhm.
had a signal where if we started our period at school and we needed like a change of clothes or pads or something, that we'd have to go to the office and go to this woman, Miss Nikki. She was like the office lady, and you'd have to go and do this hand signal like this and cross our arms and put our head down. And then that was like the signal for like I started my period without saying it. I guess that just popped back in my memory.
I feel like I wish they would just encourage girls to be like, I started my period. Like, that's not an embarrassing or uncomfortable thing.
Okay,
that's
so
what I wish too.
One of our listeners said, this is not really a story and I don't know why, but I don't like the word period. So I always say lady week and lady doctor. And I wanted to talk about that, like how it's like you're taught immediately that it's like a bad word or something gross to talk about.
And like it's something that we go through every single month, and I just want to like say it flat out, even on social media. I just want to be like, I'm on my period. Like, it's not a big deal, but I stop myself from saying that because I know it makes other people uncomfortable. So then I'm, like I try not to say it, but it's like I'm uncomfortable too. My uterus lining is literally shedding and cramping. Like,
does it make you guys
I don't want it to be
when other people say that? Like, why?
No. I think it's become way more normal. But yeah, I think like especially like in middle school, it's such a taboo topic.
Yeah.
And we're just like not taught to be comfortable with like any of the words. Any words.
Or even like having to hide your tampon to go to the bathroom. Like, I just want to whip out my tampon and be like, I'm going to go change my tampon. Like, I don't want to have to
when you
hide it. I know, it's always very discreet. Like, put it in your sweatshirt sleeve and like,
oh my gosh. And then I'd be in the bathroom trying to rip it so quietly because I was scared of other girls hearing it.
And shutting the little like tin really quietly too.
I'd be like lowering it so slowly. Oh my gosh. Why would I care? That's so crazy. But like you were just saying with like not even knowing where your vagina hole is, Cameron and I were talking about that the other day of like the difference between boys and girls of like boys just like jack off so early and touch themselves so early. Like my brother, when he was a teacher, 5th graders would be just doing it in class, like just whipping it out.
What?
Yeah, like just for boys, I don't know why they're just like more comfortable with it. But I was gonna ask you guys too, like, do you remember? Like, I remember boys asking, like, in middle schoolish, like, oh, do you guys masturbate? Or, like, we masturbate or whatever. And, like, it was always, like, a girl thing. You'd be like, no, like, I would never do that. Like, no, like, that I don't do that. Like, that's gross. I don't do that. But, like, it's so discouraged that, like, we never even looked or, like, touched ourselves whatsoever. So then, like, when your period comes, you're like, I have no idea what my vagina even is. Or, like, a vulva. You don't even know the word vulva whatsoever. So it's like we're just taught so differently where we're like don't even want to explore ourselves when it's like literally on our own bodies.
Yeah, that's really funny that you like had those conversations. I don't think I ever was asked that at all.
Boys should not be asking that though. That's like what? I would be really annoyed if boys were asking.
I feel like we would talk about it like mutually, like the girls would too. And like even with girls, like even just in a girls group alone,
even with girls, you're like that's disgusting.
Yeah,
but that's how we're everything about women's bodies and sex and periods. It's like be discreet, don't talk about it, don't tell anyone about it, and then you feel shame and embarrassment around it. So because
and then when you go to
talk about it, it makes us uncomfortable. Yeah,
and it like starts to like almost be rejection of yourself instead of just embracing like who you naturally are.
Somehow for me though, like I quickly got over that like embarrassment of periods. Like everybody has a period and I don't care. I'll talk to anyone about it.
I think
the only reason I don't is because I think the other person would be uncomfortable. At least any like guys or whatever.
Yeah. I think in a girl setting that quickly, like we got over that pretty quickly. Like in middle school and high school. Especially just like playing a bunch of sports, like that was just something you know everyone's kind of like synced up or talking about it or like going through the same shit. So
I remember in 5th grade we had to bring like it was on our school supply list to have deodorant.
Really?
And then like after PE it'd be like in a bin, all of our deodorants, and they'd be like labeled with our names, and then like everyone would put on deodorant after PE. First of all, I don't know why we didn't do it before. But That was always so embarrassing too. Like I remember like a few of us girls would like go into the bathroom with the deodorant because we didn't want to do it like in front of the boys and stuff.
Interesting. But boys
That's
are like,
really
yeah,
funny.
we smell.
But like also
Yeah,
kind of like thank
exactly.
God that they did that because the teachers were probably like dying of because that's like when you know like little kids start getting body odor and you're like you smell horrific. Like take a shower.
It turns from dirt
Oh my God.
to BO.
I totally forgot about this aspect, but do you guys remember when you started getting like armpit hair?
Oh my God, yeah. But like also
I didn't start until like high school.
Really? I think
same.
I don't remember exactly when, but I know like doing gymnastics.
I remember
Oh,
being
yeah.
so scared for that, and like also vagina hair. Like I was like, when is that gonna happen? I was so scared.
Yeah, and I had to wear like leotards. And
Oh, yeah.
I guess I never had like a full bush when I was in gymnastics. But,
Yeah, I did.
That's very good.
but yeah,
Like,
that
are you
stuff is
supposed to start, like-
awkward. Because like also then I was a dancer all through high school, and like I was in a bunch of classes, so we'd have to be changing costumes backstage or like for competitions, and like just ripping our tops off or not wearing bras, and just like I was always kind of uncomfortable with that. I would like turn away and like change
Wait,
into
what about
my
the boy
costume.
dancers?
I didn't have any in my, but they would have a separate dressing room.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's dressing rooms is a whole other thing.
Yeah,
or locker rooms, whatever.
Just rip your shirt off.
And then it would be like who's wearing bras or not, and then like what kind of bra, and then girls would start to have more push-up bras.
I remember in 7th grade PE, that was when like once we went to middle school was when you had to start changing into PE clothes.
Yeah.
But before that we never did. And I remember like all the cool girls. Did you hear that?
Yeah, scrapping.
My cats are fighting. Anyways, in 7th grade, dressing out for PE, I remember all the cool girls were wearing thongs, and I was like,
oh
okay,
yeah,
now I need to start wearing thongs. They all wore like the same like Victoria's Secret thong, and I was like, I really need to get thongs.
Yeah,
to be cool.
I remember that.
That was a big thing. I do remember like when I forgot the name of the push-up bra from Victoria's Secret. It was like
bombshell.
The bombshell.
Yes.
That was
Ew.
like a huge, like thick pillow. And I remember there was like a couple of girls that like always wore them.
I
and their
lived in
boobs
it
looked,
for
like,
years.
Massive.
It's so funny
And-
when girls start getting boobs. All they want to do is show them. Like they just like hike them up to their freaking chin, like the most padded bra, and they're like in high school and they're wearing their little tank tops, just like I have boobs now.
Literally.
The bombshell never like looked right with my boobs, like the way that it was shaped. But like I definitely was like very hardcore with the push-up bras and
Because you
everything.
probably have to
Yeah.
have
I just, like-
little boobs before.
I just couldn't fit the bombshell ones very well.
I don't think I ever had a bombshell bra, honestly.
I think I tried one of my friends. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't recall ever buying one. I did just buy a new Victoria's Secret top that it had like I thought that it was like going to be removable padding because it was such a cute design. And the padding and like it's like a sports top is like this thick and I was like, who is wearing this? And
Are we
like
going
by
back
all
to
means,
that?
go for it. I know. I
true.
was like, wow.
But
Like
currently,
no
I'm like
judgment if
no
you wanna
bra.
wear that, but
It's just
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
I like only own 2 bras and I never wear them.
Same. I own one strapless, one regular, and one bralette.
Yeah.
And
I
wear them,
love-
like, once a month.
I do really love bras. And like just like really pretty ones. I really want to get one from like Savage Fenty next, but I really love the Skims bralettes. I have like
I've
10
been
of
wanting to
them
try a
in different
Skims
colors.
one.
You have
But
to.
I
They're
just
just
don't really
like
have use
and
for
they're
them,
so
but-
supportive. It doesn't feel like you're wearing a bra at all.
Huh.
Did you guys
Yeah, I
read
need
the
to.
American Girl doll book? The growing up and what was it called? The like puberty book. The
Mm-mm.
keeping of you,
No.
the growing and keeping of you. Oh, is that a my generation thing?
Sounds kind of like
Hold on, let me look up.
Purity culture.
So many of our
Keeping of
listeners will
you.
know what it's called. American Girl puberty.
stay pure. Keep you yourself.
The Karen keeping of you is what
Karen?
it was called. Care and but it was like it's called the body book for girls, and it like teaches you how to take care of yourself and like things about shaving in your body and getting boobs
Oh.
and your period and all of that. and like we would rotate it around in our friend group.
Oh, like
That's so
people would
interesting.
borrow it.
Yeah, like each friend would pass it through.
That's cute. What age were you?
I think like 4th grade, maybe
Okay.
3rd or 4th. Did your family what did your families call body parts?
This is so weird. We used to call like your vagina your bottom.
Oh,
Like my mom would be like, wipe your bottom, but she meant like your like vagina or your vulva. Is that the correct term for the whole thing?
Yeah, technically the whole thing. That's so interesting.
Yeah,
so what was
confusing.
that?
I know.
What did
Your
she
butt.
call your? Oh,
Your butt and your bottom.
for me it was butts
That's
were
confusing.
bobos, which is funny because I call Finn bobos now. He's like, he's my bobos. And vaginas were vajayjays, definitely. Or your
Vajayjay?
giny was a thing. Like wipe your giny.
Kind of cute.
And
so
penises were
interesting.
toodles.
Oh yeah, my brother used to call
That's cute.
his a hammer.
That is terrifying. Was he little?
Yeah, a little baby.
I hope he kept calling it that through like high school. Like,
I hope he's sliding down the
Let me whip out
fireman
my
pole.
hammer.
I don't remember what else. Maybe like peanut. I think they called it a peanut when he was a baby.
That's really funny.
You would not like that now.
He's the only boy in the fam, so I don't really remember.
I don't think
Yeah,
we
that's
really
funny.
used alternative names, but we didn't
I
really
mean,
like,
that's
talk
good.
about it a lot.
It makes
I
sense.
can't
Why
really
not
remember.
to? Like, I think I'll just use normal technical names with my kids.
Yeah.
I understand using technical terms so that kids know, but like I would just be weird. Like, make sure you wipe your vagina or your vulva.
It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
It would be harder to say your vulva because it's not in my like
Dictionary like,
vocabulary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I say vagina. And that's like definitely something that I'll have to practice. Because girls
But
should
it's
know
kinda
that
funny.
because
Michelle
that's
was,
why
like-
boys think that there's one hole. Like,
Yeah.
Michelle from, I think her handle now is like Food, Families, Bodies.
Mhm.
She's like, I'm practicing saying every single thing and being comfortable with it and like just doing it.
That's
So she's like
smart.
in the forest, like being like vulva, vulva, vulva. Like that's so good. Because then like her daughter's not gonna like think anything of it. And if her daughter's saying
Yeah.
it neutrally, then like that encourages other girls to be like super neutral about it as well.
for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah. And also I think it's important to know the terms so that you're safe from like predators and stuff.
For sure. Because,
Yeah.
like, you could,
As a little
people
as a
use
young girl.
common words and then it's like, you don't know what they're talking
You need to be
about.
educated about your body and like that you have control over your own body and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay, birth control. Did you guys partake? Do you have birth control currently? What's your birth control story?
I started when I was 15 for acne.
Samesies.
I started at 15 because I was fucking.
Did you like ask for it because of it?
No,
Or
my
did you
mom
say it
found
first?
out. So she was like,
Oh, really?
I don't think I asked. I think it was like common knowledge that like I knew that that was the smart decision. Like it was just like, no.
Were you
I
just
don't
put on the
recall.
pill?
I'm trying to remember like what first. I'm pretty sure I did the shot first, the
Depo?
Depo shot, and that was like every 3 months. I think it is. So
Uh-huh.
I think I got that for like a year or maybe just 6 months, and then I switched to the pill. I think I don't know, but I've been on like 2 different pills. But this one that I'm currently on, I've been on for like 8 years, probably 7 or 8 years. It's like the lowest hormone pill.
Oh, I was on that before I had a stroke because, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
thought
don't
that
scare me.
birth control was making my boobs bigger and I didn't want big boobs. So I was like, I told my mom that I wanted a pill that was like low estrogen.
Yeah.
So
That is so funny. I'd be like, give me all the estrogen, please.
I know now I'm like, I need more estrogen. But like, I think estrogen, too much of it is what makes you have hormonal acne.
Yeah,
I
I
have
can't
no
really
idea.
remember. The one I got prescribed was definitely for helping with acne. And then I think I went off of it in college. And then I went back on like after college for a little bit. And then I stopped like 4 years ago because I just like hated the way it made me feel.
Yeah, so you're not on any birth control anymore?
Mm-mm.
So my mom is a nurse practitioner, and she was actually an OBGYN nurse practitioner when I was younger.
Oh.
So she just like started prescribing me birth control because I had started getting really bad acne, but I also had like cramps that I couldn't do anything when I was starting my period.
Yeah.
Like I would always, if I started my period at school, I would have to get picked up and taken home like every single month.
Yeah.
It was like such horrible pain. So I just went on the pill and I started taking it continuously. So like
I did that too.
I would never take the sugar pills. I would just, so I like never had a period for like 10 years. I just was on the pill continuously.
For 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
I always got my period with my birth with like I did the like sugar pills.
Yeah.
That just reminded me, and that
hated my
break of
period.
when I switched from the first birth control pill to the one that I'm on now, it like was not working because I was doing it continuously, and then I was just bleeding. Like I was spotting for 9 months, and it was like the worst freaking 9 months ever because it would be just random, like 2 days a week or like one day or like the whole fucking week. Like it just, I never knew when it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so now it's like just such a weird concept for me because I'm like, I've been on it so long that I don't even know if it is affecting me, or I'm sure it is, but I don't know what contributes from my birth control to myself. But like I'm too scared to get pregnant to get off of it, at least till I get married, and like I'm fine with the possibility more of getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that because I had gone off of it and then back on it, I was able to kind of notice a difference in myself. Because I think I was only on it for like maybe a year. Because what happened, I remember, is I started getting my period too close together again. And that's why I went on it last time. And I was like, I was so tired of having like the double period in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I went on it last time. And then after I went off of it for probably the last like 4 years, I've been fine up until like the last like probably 4 or 5 months.
That's so weird because like my sister wants me,
But
she's always like, just try an IUD or try something like with less hormones even. But like I'm so scared that like, because right now my cycle's perfect, like I have a very light period for like 3 days and it's not bad at all. So it's like I don't want to mess that up and then be spotting or have like this really irregular period before getting married. At least like I
think if you're doing fine, then it's fine to stay on what you're on.
But what if all my mental health issues are because of it?
That would be
Wait, are you still on Depo?
No,
the pill?
On the pill. But I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I never.
It was really related.
My mental health problems started getting worse after I got off the pill. So
yeah, you hear both sides. That's what's so weird about it. Is like you hear horror stories in every situation, and everybody's so different, so you can't know.
Yeah.
I'm just
But what's weird is like the PMDD thing so I was tracking my period with the Flow app and like tracking my moods also with it, and then that's what my doctor said, that I have PMDD, post menstruation cycle syndrome something. No, what is it called? Dysphoric disorder? Yes. Dysphoric disorder.
When did that come about? Like when did they discover that?
It was like a year and a half ago, probably, or like maybe 2 years ago. The pandemic has like made time go by so much faster. I guess it was probably 2019 or 2020.
When like they not invented, but like discovered PMDD.
Oh,
or like just
no,
for
I have
you.
no idea. I meant for me. I have no idea when like it was actually discovered in life. But what's weird about it is like I'm not sure how that, I was talking to the therapist that I met with last week about it, because like I'm not sure how that relates when I am on birth control, because I don't have like an actual cycle where like I'm not actually ovulating, but like I still do have a cycle, and it does seem like my symptoms fall under PMDD and with the cycle and everything, but it doesn't make sense because I'm not actually ovulating. Like people have told me that on Instagram.
Oh.
But I do find, like, when you start to try to live more by your cycle and, like, eat the foods that fit within that time and do the workouts that fit within that time and try to schedule work within that time too, it's actually so helpful. Like, we're very lucky that we can schedule more work things in the frame of a month rather than a week.
Have you eaten
Yeah.
like specific foods for each phase?
Yeah, like I definitely try to do that. Also, just like naturally, I want to. Like, I always want more iron when I'm on my period. I'm like, give me all the burgers.
There's a really awesome girl, Gracie Norton, has amazing stuff for that. And like recipe ideas and everything for like when to eat and what to eat.
That's cool.
That's interesting. I've never tried like eating a certain way to see if it changed how I felt.
Neither have I. I think I should though, because I think that's like a big thing is like what obviously like food really affects your like hormones and your cycle and everything. So I know a big thing. I think like cramps are really related to magnesium levels.
I really need to be taking magnesium.
I know. Same. I know I need to as well, but yeah. I know there's like a lot of supplements I should be taking, or like at least making sure I'm like eating certain foods regularly, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard for me to like actually believe that it's going to make a difference too.
Yeah.
And it also takes so much longer. It's not like you eat it and then like tomorrow you feel better. It's like a 3-month thing of like you having to like wait for it to actually work. And that's like,
and
really
then you don't know if
just
that's actually what's working. Like, like, it's so hard.
That's like what the therapist told me to do though, is she was like, you definitely need to go get blood work done like more recently and see what you're low on and like if you need to be taking more magnesium, or I've definitely been low on vitamin D. But I was like, I don't know why I don't take vitamins and supplements. Like, I know that I should, or I do it for like a few days and then I just stop. I know. But like, I take my birth control and my antidepressant every single night. Like, so I don't know why I can't also take a vitamin.
Because like it doesn't feel like vitamins actually do anything. So you're like, oh,
I think
what's
that
the
is
point?
True. Like
that's how I feel anyways.
That'll be easy to habit stack though, Maggie, since you already take your birth control and your
but like I get them, like I got a whatever it's called. What is it called when all the vitamins are in one? Multivitamin. Yeah, like a women's multivitamin, and like it's just so fucking big that I can't. And then like I hate fish oil ones because it tastes like fish. Like it's so disgusting.
Yeah, I hate taking pills. Like I was trying to take those Ritual multivitamins, but like those pills are so hard to swallow because they're the ones that like float up to the roof of your mouth when you put water in your mouth. And I cannot swallow those. I feel like that, like, I don't know, I get too in my head. And so I just stopped keeping up with it because every time I had to take 2 of them every day and I'd be like I can't do this.
Oh my God.
Isn't it so funny how like with pills your mind just gets the better of you? Like you can just try and like
stop thinking about
swallow.
I couldn't swallow a pill until like I was like a senior in high school.
I used to like cut my pills up so tiny to take them.
Oh my God. There are some of those big, I remember like when I was sick one time I was trying to take garlic pills that are like they were like hunks and it was like it wasn't going down. It was like one of those times where I just couldn't figure out how to swallow a pill and it started like disintegrating in my mouth.
Oh
it
was
just like the most disgusting.
Tastes disgusting.
My mom would make me practice with M&Ms. I'd just be like trying to swallow M&Ms whole. Do the Ritual vitamins taste minty? Like, is that true that they take away the fish? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, they taste minty. They're like, I really want to take them, but I'm scared. I can't do it every single day.
Care of vitamins, like to make life easier, and I also do like the Ritual ones.
We had Hum for a while, and then like we had a stack of like fucking 90 different vitamin things that we just built up on. Hum.
What's that?
They're really good.
Like HUM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a brand. There's like those. Different.
Are they like gummies, right?
No, they're pill.
Oh. Yeah, I don't really know which ones the best are, but I've heard really good things about Ritual.
Yeah, me too. This other submission that I got says, my husband thinks the invention of a menstrual disc is a game changer when I'm on my period. We have mess-free sex only.
Have you
I
guys
have never
used a
tried it.
disc?
I've been down to try it though.
Is that the same as a cup?
You know,
I've never heard of a menstrual disc.
We're so educated.
There's like
I don't go to
very- I think there's a difference between the two of them.
I'm gonna look it up.
And one, I think the disc sits up higher.
That would be, but like, how do you get them out?
There's like a little like lip on them.
Oh, wait.
But like,
I
it's
have, like,
all the way
researched
fully
this,
in your
actually.
vagina,
So
right?
confused.
Like if it was
Yeah,
sticking out,
and it's
that
like-
would bother me.
It looks like a
It's-
condom with a ring.
So you have to like go digging in your vagina for that, though.
Not
Yeah,
really.
that's what terrifies me a little. Like, don't you have to?
There's, like, a
people
little-
say the cup like it suctions kind of, and then you have to like once you break the suction, then it just comes out.
I'm like very tempted to try this. I'll be a guinea pig and try it and let you guys know.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
And how long are you able to wear them at
It
a
says
time?
you can wear it safely up to 12 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because my main question I wanted to ask you guys is, what do you sleep in when you're on your period, especially when it's heavy?
Like, I basically don't
Tampon.
need to use tampons. Like, I wear panty liners only, unless I like need to. If I was like leaving the house today for hours and hours, I'd put in a tampon. But like, typically, I can literally just wear a panty liner and change it every few hours.
So lucky.
Okay. You're no help.
I know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I have to do a tampon. Like a
So
super
do you
tampon.
just sleep in a tampon all night, or do you like get up in the middle of the
I
night and
used
change
to.
it?
I usually get up in the middle of the night and then change it. Especially on like the day 2, 3.
Yeah. Because I used to be like Maggie as well. Like I would just wear thong panty liners because my period was always super light if I got it. And now, since I am not on the pill anymore, it's
Yeah.
really heavy on like the third night. And I would like try to wear a panty liner, but it would always like get all over, like it would leak through. And so then I like
Yeah.
try wearing a tampon and have to get up in the middle of the night to change it. And I've actually been curious about like the period underwear.
That's what I was just gonna say. You should
Trying
try
those.
it.
I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I'm like very nervous. Maybe Deb, you try the period.
I'll be the
underwear,
guinea
I'll try
pig
this.
of the period underwear. Because like luckily hydrogen peroxide gets blood out of stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
my
What it
friend's
is.
mom taught
It
me
lifts
that.
it.
But I'm literally ruining my Skims, bleeding through
Like JC,
through my
yeah.
underwear. Yeah, but with period.
Yeah.
But luckily I'm able to like get most of the blood out. But I'm like, I can't keep ruining my Skims.
We see a new color Skims. We know it happened.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be good.
I'm very curious what you think.
I'm curious, like
about that.
washing them, like how, like do
Oh,
you wash
yeah.
it separately?
I
Because
know,
think
that
you
seems so
I think you're supposed to
gross.
wash it in the sink, kind of like a cloth diaper. It's like the same. You like first wring it out like in the sink, and then you can put it in the laundry. I think
Mm.
Are
See,
you
like
gonna
the
do
upkeep.
lawn
upkeep.
diapers when you have a kid?
probably not, but I don't know. I have no idea. But the
Yeah.
disc, like I do see why or the cup or whatever. I don't know the difference. I don't know. I've never seen
The cup is like
disc.
an actual cup. The disc is like the disc
Yeah,
that
like the
sits up
condom
way
looking thing.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I think because people always the negative thing when people are like, well, but I wouldn't want to take that out in public and then like have to dump my blood in the sink. But like the whole thing is that you can leave it in 12 hours, so you should
Yeah.
never typically have to be still out of the house.
And you
when
would
you're
dump the
taking
blood
it
in
out.
the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you just throw those away? I wonder.
I would
No,
probably
you
just
don't.
like for the first couple times I'd probably go in the bathtub and just like make sure.
That's so funny.
water
you know
in
when
it,
you're
right?
on your period in the bathtub and then like it just like squirts out sometimes.
Oof. That's the worst.
Sometimes that happened in high school. I was
feeling.
like, ew.
That's the worst feeling when you just like feel a big rush of blood coming out, no matter where you are. You're just like, oh.
It's
Or like if you
horrible.
imagine feeling it and it doesn't actually happen and you're sitting there like feeling like really uncomfortable and you're like, oh.
Or I hate when there's like a
Nothing
giant
actually
blood
happened.
clot that pops
Mhm.
out. It's so gross.
It's been fun having real periods lately.
My worst thing is period poops. Like I have diarrhea the whole week I'm on my period.
It's like all the
Yeah.
cramping and like maybe is it inflammation and stuff going on in that area that like
I have no
affects your
idea.
intestines? Or it could be like
I think
the
it's just the
hormones or
hormonal,
something.
yeah, that are
I don't
affecting
know. That's
it.
like the worst part in cramps.
Yeah.
I just started taking a probiotic, so I wonder if like
Oh.
I keep up with that, if that will make a difference
Well,
on my
that's good.
periods.
What probiotic are you trying?
It's one that my dad takes that's supposed to like make it through your digestive system. Because the problem with probiotics
Thrive?
is like, no, it's a weird brand. I don't know. I think I'm gonna try Just Thrive after I finish this bottle that I have. Yeah. Because the founder was on What We Said, and I was like really into it.
Oh, that was such a good
Yeah,
episode. I forgot
That
about that.
was.
I really liked
That's why I
that.
started taking it regularly. Also because of my acne. I was just like,
Yeah.
maybe something's messed up with my gut, but also how much your gut is tied to your mental health. I want to see if taking a probiotic will help that.
That's interesting.
What were we talking about before I talked about a probiotic?
That girl, how she said mess-free sex. I was just wondering, like, do you guys care about period sex? Like, I feel like it's a red flag in me if a boy is like, ew, like, I'm not touching you during this time. Like, to me, that's like, I can't.
I'm okay at the
talk about it or
beginning
do
and the
anything.
end, but I don't even want to in the middle of the period.
Oh yeah, that's like a
anyways.
different thing. Like, do I want to? Will
Like,
it?
I
Will it
can't- don't
happen?
touch
Probably
me.
not. But like,
If the person I was with was weird about periods at all, that would piss me off.
yeah, I agree.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Do you have more stories to read?
Yes, I have a lot of stories.
Tell us the stories.
This one girl said that she thought using a tampon would pop her cherry, as they say. I think that's definitely a common thought that little girls have. Because that's another thing, is you're
That's so weird
terrified
that
that
you
you'll pop your
even-
cherry, because that's like looked down upon.
Yeah, that's like such a. That's
I
like
don't even
weird
know
that we
if
were
my
even
fucking
like taught
cherry was
that.
popped.
Yeah, what? I have no idea.
Okay, here's the first one. And these are like period stories, either embarrassing period stories or like the first time you got your period, situations like that. And our listeners wrote in, they're anonymous. So here's the first one. I went to visit my gay guy friend of 25 years in Hawaii in April. I knew I was going to get my period sometime on the trip, and I forgot to pack stuff, so I figured we would go to the store on the day. We both got drunk Saturday night, and I didn't wear any underwear to bed that night, just my pajamas. He lived in a one-bedroom condo, and I slept in his bed. I woke up around 5:30 a.m. to my period. I got blood in his sheets, and I didn't have anything, and nothing was open. So I put some toilet paper in my underwear and carefully tried to fall asleep until 8. So around 8, I made the walk of shame out to the living room to where he was sleeping and said, I have a problem. He said, you got your period? And I said, yes. And I got it in your sheets. He was surprisingly cool with it. We had tickets to go to the water park that day, of course.
Oh my god.
I still wanted to go because he knew I didn't wear tampons. So I said, I'll figure it out if we're going. So she said she'd figure it out. So we walked to the drugstore, and down the aisle, he picks up a box of tampons. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to use one of these. Keep in mind, I had 3 vaginal births, and I have never stuck a tampon up there.
Vaginal.
Vaginal. So we get back to his place, and I said, I have no clue how to use one of these. He said, I know how. I watched a TikTok video of some girl showing her boyfriend. Okay, those are not very helpful. So he tells me to get a bottle of wine, and he demonstrates in the bottle. My gay friend knows how to use one, and I don't. So I went to the bathroom, and I swear I was in there for 30 minutes and went through a few. I had no problem getting it up there, but he got the kind that clicks, so I was confused on that and how to get it out of the applicator. Then I was like, well, what if the string shows while we're at the water park? And he was like, I got you. I'll let you know. Now I'm a pro, and it takes me 30 seconds, and they are 10,000 times better than pads.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so funny. Do you guys want to know a horrific story I just thought of and remember?
Yes.
Okay. So I was with this guy, and I think we've been dating for like a few months, and we like went out, we were drunk and everything, and I was on my period, and I forgot to take my tampon out.
I knew it was going there.
While we had sex. And then like I went to the bathroom. I was like, oh fuck, my tampon's still inside me.
Holy shit.
But like we had already had sex, and then
Oh.
I like couldn't get it out myself, and I had to ask him to get it out for me. But like we weren't like boyfriend and girlfriend. We were just like dating and like hooking up. And it was just like the most embarrassing situation because I had to be like, hey, can you go in there and like fish it out for me?
Was it
my
easy?
God.
Did like you find it easily?
Yeah, he didn't make a big deal out of it whatsoever. I was so grateful, but I was just like, hi, I need your help. Like,
And did you see him again after that?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was still just like it was
That is so
kind of the
crazy.
beginning. Like, oh my god, it was just
I'd be like, okay, I'm leaving.
horrible.
Bye. Never see you again.
I just like don't understand how physics works. Like how it doesn't make sense.
It must have been
that
like
it
a
all just
small,
can
like
fit
one
up
of
there, squish it.
the
Just
smaller
shove it up
tampons.
there. Well, like I know
And then we were drunk, so like it didn't.
Yeah,
Like,
you
didn't
weren't feeling
remember.
it.
a lot of like my mom has had horror stories of women like just forgetting
Oh yeah,
that there's a
sure.
tampon in there, and they go in for like their annual or something, and it's like, yeah,
It's been there
there's
for
a
like
tampon.
months.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
it's disgusting.
that is
Shaming
horrible.
shaming women's bodies.
No, that's horrible. I definitely always had that fear. Like anytime I'd go to put in a tampon, I'd be like, "Wait, did I take out the last
I
one?"
know.
Like,
I
wait.
do that too.
Like, it's so scary.
Yeah,
But
Or like I'll
it's-
wake up in the morning and be like, wait, did I even take my tampon out last night?
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting. This woman, like, I do think a lot of cultures. Like, I have one friend's mom who definitely like shamed tampons, like made it look like that was like a thing that's not okay. I don't know,
Especially
if,
if you're
it, like, goes in
religious, huh?
you.
Yeah.
I think like they're Catholic.
They could
I don't
pop
know
your
if it's-
cherry.
Yeah,
and then you wouldn't
maybe
be
it's like
pure.
that. But I find that
That's
older
just
people who
too
are just
much.
trying it for the first time, it's usually like because of that, because their parents were like
Yeah.
looking down upon
Yeah,
it.
and you just get used to what you know.
Yeah, and then it's still scary in your mind. You like keep building it up.
yeah.
But honestly, I still don't know how to use that clicker thing properly. I've always just fucking taken it out. And
What
put
has
it
a
up there.
clicker? A click. What-
You just
I
have
don't know
to
what that is.
pull it till
thing.
it clicks, and then after it clicks, then you can push it up.
What brand is that? Do you guys know?
Like the U, like,
Oh. Yeah, I've never tried
and they're
those.
more compact, so they're small, and they like fit in your
Oh,
purse
okay.
better.
So then since it's like a travel one or something, you have to open it up to like use it
Yeah.
or something.
yeah, and then it clicks, and then you can use it properly.
Interesting. Okay. Here's another story. I grew up in a household where all things puberty and growing bodies were never spoken about, and I don't know why. Anyways, it was the end of 5th grade, and I went away for a week-long science camp with school. Had a great time the first 3 days, and on my 4th night, I wake up and go to the restroom, pull my underwear down, and was shocked and scared shitless by the blood stain in my panties. Do you guys like the word panties?
No.
I hate that word.
I kind of do sometimes.
Me too.
Panties. It reminds me of Hot Chick.
My
Like, I'm gonna
panties.
soak my panties.
That's such a good movie. Okay. Of course, I thought I was dying. At 10 years,
That's
in
terrifying.
2007, I didn't have a smartphone to Google what to do. I'd only been speaking English for about a year at this point and wasn't very comfortable with it yet. So I chose to let it run. Let it run its course and not tell anyone. I folded up some
Aw.
toilet paper and stuffed it in my underwear, hoping it'd be enough to get me through the day without bleeding to death. Oh my gosh. My period slowed down for the next few days, and I was extremely lucky to make it through the rest of the camp without stains. Bless. Came back home and told my mom she had to take me to the doctor because I was dying, and she proceeded to tell me I was now a woman and also low-key shamed me for not knowing about periods. Oh my God. She gave me some pads.
And they never
and
talked about it.
Yeah. And when you're that young, she thought she was dying.
That's so
That's
sad.
That is
so
so
scary.
sad. She gave me some pads and shook her head and said, "Don't they teach you this at school?" I'd been in Mexico from
Ugh.
kindergarten to the middle of 3rd grade. Willow, can you please sit? And no, they never taught us. Maybe it was taught in the 4th grade, but I was struggling to learn the Pledge of Allegiance, so maybe I missed it. I don't know. My mom's great, but she had her flaws. Yeah, I didn't learn about it till like 5th grade at least.
That pisses me off so much because it's so, like, that's common that it's not talked about in a household. And fucking Florida's trying to pass a bill where they can't,
Oh my
you
God.
can't talk about periods in elementary school and middle school.
So we should just be ashamed for being women. Okay, well, if we can't talk about periods publicly,
Then
then you can't put it in. Then
dying. The
what?
girls are gonna think that they're dying like
Yeah.
that. There's no education on it. They're gonna think they're dying. Then they're gonna get pregnant, and then you're not gonna let them have an abortion. Like, it's
Yeah, what
literally
else
the
would you
worst
think?
cycle.
If you had a bunch of blood in your underwear, like what else would you think besides I'm
I
dying? Like,
cannot.
I think they
Yeah.
think that more families teach it or something, but it is so common that your family doesn't. There's kids who have shitty parents.
or like if they don't
Yes.
have a mom, or
Yeah.
Right. Or they're
Or they're in
like
foster care.
or their
they're-
mom is like not available or like there
Yeah.
to talk about it.
It's actually so crazy.
It is
It's
horrific
very-
that that's even like a thing.
Like, it feels unreal. Like, it feels
It feels
Housemates.
fake. It feels like every time I see those headlines, I'm like,
I
is
know.
this a joke? Is this like the Onion? Like, isn't the Onion?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this must be a story on the Onion. Like, it
It's
can't be,
just
like,
no
actual
wonder we
story.
have so much shame about our bodies when like the government and like the adults in our lives are saying like you can't talk about this. This isn't something you can
Right.
discuss openly. Like, okay, then that's embarrassing. Like, obviously, if I can't talk
Yeah.
about it, it's something to be embarrassed by or feel shame
Exactly.
about.
I think one of the nicest things in why I like Planned Parenthood is that like there was a lot of conversations around like girls going to Planned Parenthood for like birth control, for
Yeah.
abortions, for just like checkups and all that stuff. Like that was like in high school, that was like a regularly talked about thing where girls felt comfortable enough and they knew it was a safe place to go. So like whether they like couldn't talk to their families, whether whatever, like, you know, they only had one friend they could talk to, there was somebody who was like going to drive them and take them to Planned Parenthood and like get whatever they needed to be like sorted out, which
For
like
sure.
thank
That's good.
God
Yeah,
that's available to
so
people.
important.
Yeah.
It's so important. I remember a lot of like several girls going to get birth control there because their parents like didn't want them
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah. And thank God that's like available. Like
Yeah.
that's something that's at least
Because then the parent
can
would
go
get
there and be
pissed if they got
safe.
pregnant. Like,
yeah. And they probably wouldn't like help them with
Nope.
that either. So
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay, next story.
Now
So
I'm
basically,
mad.
I know. So basically, I got my period very young. I was in 5th grade, so I think I was like 9 or going on to the age of 10. Basically, I was still in elementary school, which was very embarrassing. I don't know if this has changed, but you know, when you use a public restroom and they have a sanitary bin, well, my school did not have that. Oh my God. I guess elementary school, they're like, oh, they don't need their little
Oh,
bins
yeah.
or something.
That makes sense.
So sometimes I would have to flush my pads down the toilet. Oh God, that's like
Pads?
risky because
Oh
if
my
it gets
God,
clogged.
Yeah. Right.
Or she had to try to be very sneaky and throw them in the trash can outside of the restroom. Oh my God.
Oh.
It was just a nightmare to me because my friends still did not have their periods. I was not scared or shocked when I got my period. My mom had to talk with me, so I knew this would happen eventually, but never expected it so young. I also remember I had one of my pads in my backpack, and this idiot boy opened my bag when I was walking, and he pulled out my pad saying, "What is this, a diaper?" Boys. Do you remember, like, when you had you were wearing a backpack and you had, like, the little zippers, like the smaller
Yeah.
pocket in the front, and, like, boys would just, like, open it while they were walking behind you?
Yeah. And you always keep your pads and tampons in there. Like,
Mhm.
why was it so embarrassing to freaking... I remember so vividly, like, having to grab the tampon in a way that you could hide it. Like,
That's
that is
also,
so
boys
sad.
make it, boys need to be more educated on this because they're the ones that
Yes.
also make it embarrassing. Like that boy taking, is this a diaper? Like, that is such a common experience for young girls in their periods, boys making fun of it.
Yeah, parents need to, even if
Yeah.
you don't have a daughter, you need to still educate your sons on
Mhm.
how to treat women.
And just normalize
I hope
periods.
more elementary schools have like the resources.
But
For
also,
that.
do moms not, like, I don't understand because, like, as a mom, when I'm going to be on my period, I'm going to be talking about being on my period and complaining about it.
Yeah.
Like I typically do. So,
My
like,
mom
how
didn't
does...
really.
I don't think my mom
Really?
did either. Okay. I got my first period at 18, a week before I started college. My mom had me when she was a bit older, so she no longer had period products at home, and I asked her to take me to get some. My parents didn't let me drive until I was 21, lol. My mom very publicly announced to the entire house, "Our youngest got her period." And I brushed it off and was like, "Can we please leave?" When we got back, my dad was waiting with a dozen roses and verbatim said, "Congrats on becoming a woman."
Oh, that's actually
Please.
cute.
Needless to say, I was so ready to start college and move into my dorm.
Aw.
That is so funny.
That's actually so nice.
Oh,
Oh, Dad.
it's really cute, actually.
That is cute, but I would be so embarrassed.
I'd be so embarrassed. But it's one of those, it's kind of like a nice story because you can look back on it and think of it fondly. You'd be like, oh yeah, my dad bought me like roses and everyone announced and like celebrated with me.
Yeah, like, can we go out to a fancy dinner or something? I got my period.
I know, that's what it should be. It should be like, hell yeah, let's go get your
celebrate.
favorite meal.
I think my mom did that.
I think my mom did
I don't
too.
know
Like,
if we went out
like
to
you went to
dinner,
dinner?
but
something.
she like, we celebrated, quote
That's
unquote,
funny.
quote end quote. Okay, so I literally was 10 and doing everything to get my period because my mom got hers at 10. So I lied about having my first period for about a couple of months. And then I got a dot of blood and I thought it was my period. So I told my mom, and then about a year went past and I never got any dots of blood. So I was wrong. And then I got my period a couple days before Christmas, about 2.5 years ago. I don't know how old this person is. And I don't even know why I wanted my period so bad. That's funny because, like, I didn't want my period.
That is really funny. I didn't want mine either.
But then, like, my sister was, like, really tiny until she got her period. But my sister didn't get her period until she was a junior. And so she was, like, wanting to get her period, you know? Because, like...
Yeah, because it was later.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny. There was a period of time where everyone had braces, and I really wanted braces. And there was another period of time where people started getting glasses, and I really, really wanted glasses. So, like, I barely needed I mean, now I really need glasses, but, like, at the time, I barely needed a prescription. And so I would, like, wear those things all day, every day. Like, oh, yeah, I have to bring on my
ruining your
glasses.
eyes.
Yeah, like, I mean, they were fine because they were, like, I got them prescribed, like, but it was, like, not even a real prescription, I don't think you could say. But I wonder if it's something like that where she's like, oh yeah, I definitely want braces. Like, those are so horrendous.
Yeah.
And glasses are not bad at all, but it's still one of those things.
I remembered right now, it came to my mind that before I started my period one time, we were in a hotel room with my family, and I think one of my best friends and my mom and dad. And I went to the bathroom like in the middle of the night, and there was blood in my underwear, and I thought I started my period, and I was like, holy shit, like, this is happening, and it's not at home, like, I'm at a hotel,
it's happening.
This is not good. Yeah, I was like freaking out. And I told my mom, and it ended up just being like, I think I took a big poop or something in my booty hole was bleeding.
Oh, yeah.
I said, did it happen again?
Stitch her up.
That's really funny.
Literally.
Took a big shit.
Was your mom like, no, your ass was just bleeding,
I
actually?
don't remember, but probably. That's so funny.
She's like, Maggie, what did you eat? We have to use that as a sound clip.
I was literally like, before I was telling you, I was like, fuck, is it gonna be a clip though?
Oh my god.
Okay, another story.
So I was a late bloomer to the period game. I was 13, which I
think I was 14.
I think that's average. I have cerebral palsy, and I had a surgery done in the 6th grade to correct an issue. Well, I was in a hip cast, so not the greatest thing to have being a woman. Well, I had fell off that day and my stomach hurt. So I went to the bathroom in this monstrosity of a hip cast, and lo and behold, the Shining had arrived. Talk about a mess for my first ever period.
Wait, what did she do? Because like when I had a hip cast, like my parents would have to use like a blow dryer to change my diaper, and you'd have to like slide the diaper out of the cast, and then like I didn't ever think about like
she
an
didn't
adult
go
peeing.
into more detail. I wonder if it was like removable. Like,
because then how like did blood get all over the cast, and then how did you...
That would be so horrible. And then like
The
I'm
new
so sorry,
average-
girlie. That is a horrible situation.
The new average age girls are getting their period is 12, which is
Wow.
5th grade.
That's
I have
crazy.
been
But they can
hearing
start as
stuff
early
like
as
that.
8.
Yeah, there's like early puberty,
8.
early onset puberty or something it's called.
Yeah.
That is so sad.
So that's
That's
another thing is
insane.
like trying to time it of when to talk to your kids
Yeah.
about it.
Because like, I mean, I don't know any 8-year-olds, but like, can they even understand? Like, it's
My nephew's almost
How are you gonna
7,
understand?
6, and yeah, that would be hard. I remember when I found out, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna bleed eventually, and like every girl has to do this?
yeah, it's like
Right.
it changes your whole. It's like finding out something so
Yeah.
crazy, and you're like, wait, what?
When before your
Like,
world is just like all good. And then you're
Yeah,
like-
yeah. Ugh.
So probably like 2nd grade. I think it depends too if like there's older siblings, because I think I just was aware of periods because of my sister.
Yeah.
Like
I
being
think my
little.
friends with older sisters like had it a lot easier because I remember two girls that were like we played sports with. They each had at least like one older sister,
Yeah.
and they were super comfortable talking about all of it. And I was
yeah.
like, oh,
like my sister was
this can be
16 when I
normal.
was 8. Like so she
Yeah.
was
Well, then like it could also be the mom's job just to like normalize it if the mom
Yeah.
still has her period, to just be like, oh, just like talking about it in the house, like
yeah.
so that it's not like a shocking revelation that you find out that women bleed every month, like
or that it's like
just
so
like
bad.
growing up with like, I'm okay, I need to get tampons for my period, just like talking about it like
yeah.
one day you'll have
You
one
need
too.
underwear. You
Yeah.
need to shower.
I think
Yeah.
girls should get extra PTO.
For real.
Like
That's actually
I was
such a
the
good
same
point.
in school, Dev. Like I like at least one day
Yeah.
probably that I had my period, I was like, take me out. And like now
Yeah.
I'm usually like this day I take more chill.
Yeah. Cramps are debilitating. I can't sleep if I
I
start getting
know.
cramps in the middle of the
Oh.
night.
This has been a game changer. Rayel, I think, is the brand. They have
Mhm.
heating pads that are sticky, so you can like stick them on your
Oh,
abdomen and like
I
on your
need
lower back,
those.
and it is so nice. I was like, because I used to try and like I would literally like heat up a water bottle so that I could like use it as a heating pad. I could just buy a
Uh-huh.
fucking heating pad,
Yeah.
but like that would make too much sense. But the Rayel pads, like heating pads, are perfect.
Ooh, I
and
wanna
like
get those.
they're like this big.
Okay.
So
Yeah, heat is like the
They-
only thing that like soothes
Same.
my cramps. And like
And a
I
fuck
will
ton of
I will
ibuprofen.
heat up like I have a fuzzy hot water bottle, and I'll put it on my bed and like
Yeah.
sleep on top of it. Like I'll lay on my stomach and like
yeah,
sleep on it. But then it
Those-
doesn't stay
the-
hot.
I just
Right.
remembered I got
The
these
heating pads
PMS
take-
support pills.
Oh,
They're by
Who are they by?
Semaine.
What's in them?
SEMAINE. I've never taken them before. They're vegan. Ashwagandha, boswellia, green tea, magnesium, vitamin D, other things.
Huh.
Interesting. I'm gonna try one. We'll report back.
I used to take the like flow gummies. They're like little circle gummies for
Yeah,
your
yeah.
period and PMS and stuff. And I didn't really feel like they did much, so I stopped.
Because I wonder, is it the same like of taking magnesium and stuff? It's like you need to do it
Yeah.
consistently.
yeah,
Yeah. I did it consistently for like at least 3 or 4 months though, and I didn't really notice
That
anything.
should work. Yeah. Do you take them all the time or just when you're PMSing?
You take them every day. It's like a supplement.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to look more into some of those things. At least the
I'm definitely going to get
Oh,
those heating
sweet.
pads.
Those are expired. I just swallowed them, looked at the box that says expired January 2023. Sweet.
Okay, next story.
Hopefully magnesium doesn't really expire.
I think you'll be fine.
I think
It's just like less potent once it expires, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I have a very heavy flow, and since at that time I was still figuring out how to manage it basically every month, I lived in the school's bathroom because I was always getting my clothes stained.
Oh.
Long story short, one day it was so bad, 2 guy friends had to help me because I had stained not only my clothes but my seat and the teacher's desk. They remind me about cleaning my blood to this day.
Oh.
At least you're still friends.
That's nice of them. I feel like boys did start to be better like 8th grade, beginning of high school.
And if they're your friends.
Yeah.
My youngest sister has like really heavy periods. She like bleeds through a tampon in an hour or something. But she in high school used to always bleed through her pants and like get on the seat.
It's so weird because like people lose so much blood like that, but then when you look up like how much actual blood is typical for us to lose on our periods, it's like not that much.
Yeah.
Like it feels like more is coming out than actually is. It doesn't really make sense.
I was at church wearing a yellow and white dress when I got my first period, and it was all over the back of my yellow dress. I was sitting in the front row when I found out. I saw expressions on people's faces as I walked out of the sermon to the bathroom, and it was the worst feeling in the world. I hid in the bathroom, and my parents and sister got me and left early from church. Very embarrassing.
Oh, wow.
How sad.
Especially all this standing and sitting up in a church.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Every time you stand up, you just feel a waterfall.
When my first period started, I ran to my mom freaking out because I thought I pooped my pants. Since your first period is typically brownish. I was so confused how I pooped my pants without realizing it / feeling it. Then she sat me down and told me that it was my period.
I just realized it's also really odd to think about how like we do periods before sex talk and stuff, because then it's like you're explaining that you're bleeding, but then like you don't really understand why you're bleeding or like about eggs and sperm or anything. So
I think they tell you about that when they do the period talk, don't they? Like they do a very medical. Oh, I think they explained like.
I can't remember. They've like
not till 6th
grade. There's been a lot of stuff that's like so interesting about like. You don't need to have the conversations really about like sex. I mean, you do need to have the conversation about sex, but a lot of the conversations about like in sex ed is about birth control. And you're like, no, you need to know about like the emotional side of it. You need to know like the how, you need to know the why, you need to know like the logistics of it all. Mm-hmm. And birth control is obviously very important, but like 90%, I feel like 90% of the sex ed was about birth control.
Didn't I tell you guys what my sex ed was?
I don't remember.
We literally got broccoli, like the tops of broccoli all spread out, like if you broke broccoli apart, and that was the sperm. And then we got tapioca pudding, and that was the eggs. And then we mixed them together, and then they were like, this is what sex is. And then that's when we also got our ATM cards of abstinence till marriage.
Oh my God.
They taught us about condoms, basically. That was it.
My sex ed was like all about STDs.
Oh yeah,
there was a huge portion on STDs too.
Yeah.
But like, yes, those are important things, but like you need to know like more about everything else.
If you're in college or going to college, I would highly recommend taking a sexual like course in some way. There's like a bunch of different kinds, but human sexuality was like one of my favorite classes in college because it feels like actual sex education. Like you learn so much more about like the history of everything, about LGBTQ history. You learn about like in different countries there's a lot of genital mutilation and like horrible things that happen. Like it was so educational. Highly recommend.
Don't have sex. You will get chlamydia and you will die. Chlamydia with a K.
You know, a lot of my friends have had chlamydia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd say a good 85%.
That's crazy.
I didn't realize how common it is, but I think
Yeah, is that like the
that's
most
another
common
thing.
one?
I think chlamydia and maybe like HPV.
Oh yeah, a lot of people.
Because
have
I remember I was
HPV.
so scared of having HPV, and like I think it's just normal.
Yeah. They did an episode about that on the show Girls.
I think one of the most important things, I don't think they talked about this in
Yes, chlamydia is.
sex ed, is not peeing after sex. Why is that not like
Oh
number
yeah,
one?
that's I still don't like, is that actually real?
Yeah.
Like, is that a scientific thing?
You know what's annoying?
Mhm.
Why don't men have to like do anything after sex?
That's so true.
But we have to go pee,
Yeah.
otherwise we're gonna get a UTI.
It's the same with animals. Like in a lot of animal situations, the girl always has to do something, and the guy is just like leaves.
Yeah.
Like I just
Take
read
care of the
this-
kids.
True.
We watched Lion King the other day, and like then I was looking up. I forget what exactly I was looking up, but I was looking up like how.
Did you forget, or you just don't want to tell us?
No, I forget like the exact words. I think I was like trying to see how many babies they had, or like how they like, because in Lion King he's the only king, and then there's like hella girls, and so I was like, did he
You're
get
like,
all of them pregnant?
What
Like,
is
does
the
one
monarchy
male-
of the lions?
Yeah, but I found out that lions have the same thing that cats do, where they have like sharp things that when they pull out, it literally like scratches the cat, and lions have that too. And then
Wait, what? Pull out of their vagina?
yeah, like it's like
It, like,
sharp,
latches
it
on.
hurts them, and then so when they pull out with lions, that's when the lioness like yelps when that happens, and then that helps.
So it hurts the girl?
fertilize the egg. Yeah, it hurts the girl. That was the whole
What the
point. That
fuck?
girl's got to always go through shit.
Wow. That's fucked up. That's so weird. Like
The
what is
scientific portion behind it is that you're clearing your urethra of any bacteria, which is why
with
a
a
UTI
UTI.
happens. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
So like typically when you're having sex, like the
There's stuff
bacteria
going in
and stuff
your-
can get like in your urethra. So you have to pee afterwards so that you just like flush it
that's
all out.
interesting.
Fun.
I feel like I've never
fun.
fully like seen my urethra.
It's very small.
Your urethra? The hole?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can see it.
How small is it? Is it like a boy
Like-
penis hole or smaller?
I actually haven't seen mine, so I don't know. They were arguing this on Armchair Anonymous.
A catheter
their
can go through
period.
it though.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like
catheter.
I feel like a needle-sized catheter, like very tiny.
Oh my god.
Catheters
They
are
were
a little
arguing on
You
Armchair
could have kidney
Expert
stones.
whether it was more plausible to accidentally put a tampon in your butthole or your urethra.
Oh, definitely.
And Monica was saying
your
your urethra, and I was like so annoyed because I was like, there is no fucking way you could get anything in there unless
I'm
it's a
looking it
medical
up.
like catheter.
They literally have to like lube it up.
I'm
It's
sure.
I've also seen a
4.8
lot
to
of those inserted.
5.1 centimeters.
That seems big.
4. I'm literally about to get my measuring tape. Hold on. Holy, that's not real.
That can't be
Oh,
real.
wait, no, that's 150.
Is that how long
Watch
it is?
This.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Very tiny.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Tune into our YouTube if you'd like to see how small your urethra is.
I don't think that's really going to be that helpful, but okay, I have a couple more.
Okay.
Just like little first period experiences. I got my first period on the first day of 6th grade. As if that wasn't bad
Ooh.
enough, I was wearing khaki pants. Thankfully, my toilet paper pad covered me until I got home. But then I
God
don't
bless
know.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
I know.
But then my mom took me out for ice cream to celebrate. I think that's what my mom did too.
I think there has to be some celebration. I would like a celebration.
Yeah. Just to make you feel better. But like also I feel embarrassed. Like I don't want to talk about it. Like why do we have to like make a big deal about it?
Yeah.
I guess
Well, it's
it
like
depends
those
on your personality.
situations. Yeah, where you feel embarrassed, but like you feel loved at the same time.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I hate this, but also like it's nice of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Mom.
Yeah.
Not much of a story, but my mom explained them badly and made me think you only bled when you pee, not a constant thing.
Oh,
If only.
interesting.
Someone else also said they passed out at work once because their cramping was so bad.
I have
Oh.
literally thought my cramping might make me pass out because it's so bad.
Ugh. Like my cramps feel like labor contractions, and I can't even imagine how labor contractions actually feel.
I say the same thing every time. Like I'm literally like I go,
Yeah.
and then it
Oh,
passes,
yeah.
and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we're good.
Like you feel the
I-
cramp.
If I can like do it right, I start taking ibuprofen before I know I'm gonna get my period, and I just keep like taking it until like the cramping is over.
That's smart. I'm
And
bad at
my
like
liver's
doing
probably
what's
fucked,
best
but-
for me.
If I don't take ibuprofen before the cramps really start, then the
Yep.
ibuprofen like doesn't work. Like it won't
I
stop
agree.
them. So I have to like time it. But I don't want to take too much ibuprofen because it's bad
I
for
know.
you. So it's rough.
I need to figure
And since I
something
get my
out, 'cause I
period
take
every
way too
16
much.
days.
Dude,
Yeah, you
that's
should tell your
insane.
doctor.
They're probably your regular doctor's probably just gonna prescribe birth control, which
Oh, yeah, I guess that's not the most helpful.
Yeah.
This girl said, I got my very first period on April Fool's Day. After discovering this in the locker room bathroom and filling my underwear with toilet paper, I walked out and 2 girls said, "Oh my God, what's on your pants?" while laughing and pointing. Then they said, April
That's so fucked
Fools.
up.
I was almost in tears.
Wait, but did she actually get her period?
She actually
Yeah,
got her
but the
period, but it
girls-
wasn't actually on her pants.
Oh, so it's just like a coincidental.
the girls are just assholes in the
Or
bathroom.
maybe she
Yeah.
told them. I don't know.
Yeah, I skipped a few, but I think those were all the good ones.
We could definitely do like a second episode on periods and girl stuff because it also like just expands to more girl things.
Yeah. I was so excited when so many people shared their stories. So we definitely want to keep doing
Yeah.
episodes like this.
Yeah, I love when we get like listener submissions.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite.
Me too.
So go leave us more submissions in our Google form linked in our bio. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram. If you want to watch the video version of our podcast, you can find it on YouTube or also on Spotify. Leave us a review wherever you listen, and we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.